He's on another podcast right now. Jacob is on another. That's how I'm going to open the show.
If they're talking about Fast and Furious, then you know.
No, he's definitely. They're talking about the hottest men or women in the Hollywood or something. I don't know what he's like. I'm semi-joking.
I'm planning on being on the hottest men on Hollywood podcast.
I think so. I am too. I am not. We've got the hottest men in film critic world on joining us today. All right. So with all that being said, welcome to another episode of the Music City Drive-In, brought to you by the Drive-In Podcast Network. I am your host, Ricky Valero. On today's episode, we have a very special episode with you guys. It is the Fast and the Furious edition of the Music City Drive-In. We're going to dive into the franchise by giving you our top 5 rankings of the franchise, but we're also going to give you guys our top 5 characters in the franchise as well. I'm interested to see the characters one. The movies are kind of up and down with a lot of different ones, but my co-host with me this week, Jacob, is off doing other things that he's not important enough to join us with this beautiful franchise. Mr. Matthew Fox, how are you, bud?
Yeah, I mean, I think if you're going to go to a franchise that has 20 plus years of history, you probably have to find somebody who's old enough to have been alive to see. This just means we're old.
That's exactly it. But before we introduce our guest real quick, I do want to make a slight announcement here while I have you, Mr. Fox. We have got a new show coming in the very near future. It's going to be Happy Hour with Matt and Ricky. We are going to Matt and Ricky. I said myself, did I say myself in the third person? I don't even understand. But Happy Hour with Matt and myself, we're going to dive into the world of the NFL. We're going to talk best matchups. We're going to talk our rankings. We're going to talk DFS. We're going to talk all sorts of picks and stuff like that. It's going to be coming closer to football season, but you're the first to hear it here. We're not going to announce it till later in the week on social media. Matt, I'm excited about the show, my man.
Yeah, and this is kind of like the test drive. You know, if this flames out tonight, just pretend you never heard it.
Exactly. So if the show fails tonight, we will definitely not do that. But
I'm ready for football season.
I am too. We're inching closer and closer, so I'm super excited about it. Joining us, making his return to the Music City Drive-In, Mr. Colby. How are you, my friend?
Yo, what up? It's your boy Colby Mack, and I am finally back on the Music City Drive-In podcast.
How are you, my man?
Can't you tell? I'm good.
I was going to say, if only you brought some energy to the
right?
It's funny, I said it off there, but I was serious, man. Colby and I had a really good discussion about film Twitter. We had a good discussion about, movies as a collective whole, how we could rectify the world, all in one conversation in like 40 minutes, man.
I know, man. It was a podcast unto itself that we can be able to cherish. I just hope that we can be able to bridge that energy, that passion, that just dope conversation to everything that we do going forward.
It was. I'm excited. And I'm excited to have you back on the show as well. Also joining us this week, his first appearance on the show. He's a writer over at the Music City Drive-In. Mr. Tom, how are you, bud?
I'm doing great. Thank you for having me here.
Absolutely. You still have a job right now because you rated Fast and the Furious, F9 above a B? Everybody, like Matt, I question our friendship and future podcast because you did rate it lower than a B. Now, I said anybody that rated it lower than an A+ was going to get fired. So I kind of reeled that in a little bit. So thank you for that, Tom.
Thank you. I need the health insurance and all the benefits and everything that you offer. Thank you.
Oh, don't say that too loud.
Wait. Now I understand why I got to stay.
Also joining us for the first time, I'm very excited to have him on. We've had a lot of conversations off, and we've conversated about having a show, getting a show together. And my man GQ, how are you, buddy?
What is happening, peoples? What's going on, Ricky? I am very happy to be here, and I'm looking forward to this juicy conversation about this franchise.
I am as well. Now, before we go, did everybody see F9, right? GQ? Yeah. You did? All right. This is even better. So before we go into the rankings, I just want everybody to just give me a couple sentences on your thoughts as on the movie as a whole. Probably I'm going to let everybody know this is going to be a spoiler. So if you want to skip ahead, just go. review, and then we'll talk about our favorite movies of the franchise. But Tom, I'm going to let you kick us off, buddy. Just initial thoughts on F9 as a whole.
I liked it. I mean, we're in this for the action, you know. I felt like we were very well served with action. You know, John Cena cannot act for his own life, you know, but at least we have other people there that can, you know. So I was very happy.
GQ, what about you, my man?
So a couple of things, right? So let me just start off by saying, if you are a fan of this franchise and you already have an understanding of what it is and what their primary goal is, then you'll love the movie. And I once again, yes, there are a lot of things in the movie that have no business making any sense. But at the same time, do we care if it makes sense or not? I think the only thing that matters in this particular case is I went into the theater. Did I enjoy myself while watching the movie? And I think that's a hard yes.
I like it. Colby?
Did I enjoy myself while watching the movie? That's a no, but I was not bored while watching the movie. I think that Vin Diesel and Universal know exactly the movie that they're selling. The audience, the general audience, knows exactly the movie they want. Film Twitter has hope that this movie can reach the heights that Fast 5 did. Fast 9 comes nowhere close to that bar. It's passable on the Colby Told Me scale. It's not a good movie. It's also not a bad movie.
I like it. Mr. Fox?
Yeah, I mean, I think GQ said it. At this point in time, if you're going to see F9, you pretty darn well know what these movies are about. This is the 10th one that's come out. They stopped caring about the plot somewhere around Furious 6. So, you're not really worried about a cohesive story that you're following. It's just, they managed to cram in nods to, I think, every film in the franchise. You and I talked about maybe a little bit too long. They probably could have lost 20 minutes. For me, they could have lost the part where they try to retcon Tokyo Drift into being a good movie. But it's good for what it is. Is it a fantastic movie that's going to win awards? No, but it's what during the summer, you're looking for an escape from the heat, a little popcorn, something you don't have to think about for a couple hours. This is that in a nutshell.
This is escapist entertainment at its finest.
Yeah, and that's the thing. And coming to my thoughts is that's exactly what I said. And I've said to everybody here, and did I enjoy it a little bit more because I was in a jam-packed theater, 100% packed in 4DX, and I had a crowd full of people that didn't care about the plot, that didn't care about any of the stuff making sense, that they laugh whenever at the bad jokes between Tyrese and Ludacris. Yes, they.
Sorry, my phone is going off. I'm trying to shut it off.
All right. I just figured maybe you're going to start singing for us. But the thing about it is, what was my number one problem with this movie? Everybody wants to know what my number one problem with this movie. I'm going to talk about this guy right here. First off, this looks nothing like John Cena. I saw this today at Target.
Oh, Lord.
That's John Cena, everybody.
That's how you spell Jacob?
Also, yeah, I didn't realize they spelled Jacob that way until seeing the toy.
Isn't that like the Hasidic spelling of Jacob? Jacob Jewish now?
I feel like the corner should have been empty because you can't see him.
Oh my! You couldn't see him on the screen either. Like the thing about it is first off, I think this guy on my screen right now acts better than John Cena does. I'm just gonna throw that out there. We're more than likely for sure acting. Okay, so my biggest problem with the movie was John Cena. It missed The Rock. It missed Jason Statham 100%. Like their dynamic chemistry works all the time. You know what I mean? And they're fantastic. It's going to make Hobbs and Shaw so good as their chemistry together. But also because The Rock and Vin Diesel, they play well out of each other. And like The Rock is low-key a comedian. And like we don't give him enough credit. And Colby and I were talking about this. I was like, we've gone from The Rock being this fantastic action star to like one of the most underrated actors now, because everybody's like, well, Batista. And sorry, guys, there's one big difference between The Rock, Batista, and John Cena. You all know what it is? The Rock can carry a movie. That's the big difference. And Batista is good in the supporting role. John Cena is good in a movie like Blockers. I think he's going to be great in Suicide Squad. I don't know if you guys caught the trailer before.
Yeah.
That scene that he has, I forget what he says. It's hilarious. But like,
We didn't get that trailer.
you didn't get
Yeah, he was talking about how starfish was like slang for butthole or something.
Yes, that's what.
Remember, I cannot wait. Next year we get his Peacemaker series on HBO Max. I think it's going to be amazing. I think that's going to be his true like super duper star turn.
Exactly.
I think when the WWE tried to like, what was that that military film that he did?
The Marine.
The Marine, right? It's like they thought that they like, okay, great, we can capitalize on The Rock, we can be able to capitalize on this. Everybody's gonna get their own movie. It failed miserably, and then he kind of had to go away for a few years, go back to the WWE. Like he's got.
Don't forget, he did The Marine, and then he followed that up with 10 Rounds.
Oh, yeah. But I mean, they were pumping out those WWE movies like crazy. Vince McMahon, like that dude just didn't know like when to like he's over here doing like Halle Berry did a WWE movie for God's sake.
Yeah,
you know. So like, but I think that it takes time. Not everybody can be able to make. The Rock didn't even get a chance to make that turn. Like he had Walking Tall. He had what's the other one that he did with Stifler?
Rundown.
Right? Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So he had a lot of films. He was signed with Disney for a little bit. He did The Tooth Fairy, for God's sake, right? So it doesn't just happen. Yeah, it doesn't just happen, right away. It takes something unique. And I think, it wasn't even the Scorpion King that did it for The Rock. I mean, really, it was Fast Five, in my opinion, where he just completely became the super duper megastar. I don't think that Bautista, his super duper star is as a supporting role inside of the Guardians of the Galaxy. But then, the Peacemaker with John Cena, he's got that. Somebody needs to talk to this dude. He has the worst walk inside of Fast 9. Dude walks away, and literally, it looks like I don't know what's up his ass, but it's something big. It's the weirdest walk ever, bro. Like, just tell the director, do not shoot me from behind.
Exactly.
That was pretty bad. It looked like he had a wedgie the entire time.
Oh yeah, it was stuck up in there good. I was like, bro, I just want to help you out, but I can't.
Just where he was keeping his script pages.
Just keep that up in there tight,
Yeah, exactly.
In case he had to refer to it.
But this was one of those movies. There was a couple of things that I noticed that was just, it was irritating me, but I was willing to forgive it because of some of the outlandish action scenes. How many times in the movie can we count Vin Diesel doing this?
Take a shot every time Vin Diesel makes a face. I mean, we'd be dead.
Right? Take a shot for that, and take a shot for every time you saw something that made you out loud say, "Get the hell out of here!" Nah, please.
Well, are you talking about the scene where Tyrese is running out of the fucking thing, and he's got like 12 guys on him, and he
had a personal Rambo scene.
He really did.
And I really thought that somebody was going to come in and like break that up. Like, no. We're planning on going full meta right now to try to interject this comment. And the thing is, the movie is it is self-aware, right? But it's almost not doing enough to fully earn it. So to me, it's like a bit offensive in that way. And granted, to general audiences, they don't care. They may not even get it, but it tries to go somewhere. And at least it's having a sense of fun. I don't think that it's as self-aware as like what Nicolas Cage is and his career is. But who knows? We got 2 more movies left possibly for them to get there.
So I think what to me I'm seeing though is, as they are kind of going along, it reminds me a little bit, now they're obviously a lot better, but of the Sharknado films. Like the first Sharknado was incredible because they didn't really realize, they weren't trying to make something terrible. Mm-hmm. It just wasn't like an happy accident that it was this weird, wild movie that all worked. But by the time they got to like the 5th and the 6th one, they knew what they were doing and they all start mugging for the camera. You're starting to see that a little bit more in these movies, a little more sequences of mugging and stuff like that. I don't know what's going to happen with two more.
I feel like ever since 5, any movie after that, they had a room of people, lots of cocaine, and they were like, how can we up the ante for this next film? Oh, I have an idea. Let's throw a tank in this one. Cool. That was it. Next one. Okay, we did the tank. What's next? How about a submarine? Like, it was just a contest that they were using to build and build and build.
Tyrese brings up every aspect of like the first, like they well aware that these scenes are just insane. But I mean, I eat it up. I love it. I hope by the last one that we can get The Rock back. Like, I don't think it's going to happen. Yeah. I don't know if it's good. Their egos just need to be like, I don't care if they have to film the scene like they did the one where they're not really together, but they're together, you know, they're face to face, even though you know that this is like a different place than this place is. Like we've seen The House, right? Like 20 times. Like The Rock is not outside the house. He's not facing Vin Diesel, but I don't care what they have to do. They need to bring him back.
They managed to put Tig Notaro in Army of the Dead, so.
Well, let's not talk about that travesty. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to obviously cover movies first. I'm going to let everybody kind of go 5 through 1 around the table. I'll start with Tommy, and we'll go all the way around. We'll do the movies first, and then we'll dive into the characters. Tommy, give me your top 5 movies of this franchise, starting from 5 going to 1.
So let's start with 9, F9. That's the most recent, the one that I have, the most experience with right now. Then we'll go to to Tokyo Drift. I really liked that one, and I remember when it came out, I was in school, so I have very fond memories about that movie. I think it's more on an emotional level than quality-wise, Too Fast, Too Furious, and that was 3, right? Let me think here. Hobbs and Shaw was really good, if that counts, and then obviously The Fast and the Furious, my first one.
I will say that Hobbs and Shaw, if it is in your rankings in the top 5, it is included within the franchise. I will say that it is included.
Ooh,
so
that changes things. Okay.
It does. It does change things for me too. So Matthew Fox, it does not change anything for, because I think it's like his worst or second worst. So all right,
it's 11 out of 11 for me.
GQ, your turn, my man.
All right, so I'm going to have to say Hobbs and Shaw is my number 5, simply because of watching the dynamic between Statham and The Rock.
Yeah.
And then, of course, throwing in Idris was a nice little touch, too. So that's number 5. F9 is my number 4. I follow that with F6 as my number 3. F5, Fast 5 as my number 2. No, I'm sorry. The original Fast and Furious as my number 2. Fast 5 as my number 1.
We brought that one back in. We were scared for a little bit there. All right, go. Hot off the press, Kobe, what you got for me?
Yeah, man. At number 5, I've got The Fast and the Furious. It's the OG, introducing us to this world, to these characters. And number 4, I've got Furious 7. Definitely one of the most heartfelt movies. Nothing beats the ending at the entire saga of films. Seeing Brian's goodbye. At number 3, I've got Hobbs and Shaw. I thought it was an interesting take to kind of veer into the sci-fi action comedy with that, and letting The Rock be able to do his thing. At number 2, I've got Fast and Furious 6. And then, of course, at number 1, I've got Fast 5. I mean, to be honest with you, out of the 9 Fast films that have come out, if we kind of separate Hobbs and Shaw, 5, 6, and 7 should be in the top 5 of almost anyone's list, because they're so close together into what these characters have went through. It's definitely absolutely where the franchise took its turn, and going from the kind of, high octane car chase heist movies into the heist action comedy genre. And then that's definitely where its peak is.
Honestly, F5, 6, and 7 could be watched as one long movie.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, and also probably one of the greatest stingers, I want to say it, because no, there was nobody that had talked about it at all. It was something that it was not teased about. Nobody knew it. But at the end of Fast 5, when you got Letty. Hobbs take out the folder with Letty, that's one of those things where you get like when you get the tingle. I just got it right now.
Yeah.
And I said, oh,
yo, Michelle Rodriguez didn't even know.
That's exactly, man. Like that, like you don't get that anymore. And it sucks that we're now 9 films in, and it seems like we haven't recaptured that same. But just knowing that they were able to produce that lets me know that they saw the caliber to be able to do that. So here's
they
hope.
Could have really done it with Han, and they dropped the ball. They really could have done it with Han. They could have made him appear in the movie when he did in F9 and recaptured that all of.
I had the crazy fan theory that Han was the big bad in Hobbs and Shaw, right? Because they still technically tease that we don't know who's behind Brixton's, enhancements and stuff like that. This entire, and it's funny how it's in the same world. There's this huge kind of shadow agency, kind of like, like this Mission Impossible level, shadow agency that apparently Mr. Nobody and no one else on the Dom side of the world knows anything about. Not Jacob, not Cypher. So we're just going to kind of pretend that they just occupy 2 different spaces, almost like 2 separate universes, which is weird.
Right. Yeah, it is. It is a little weird.
Mr. Fox, hit me with your 5.
All right, so number 5 for me is Fast and Furious 6. I like the mission to go get Letty back. I thought her kind of heel turn with Amnesia works a lot better than when they tried to copy that 2 movies later. Then at number 4 is Furious 7. I've seen it a few times, and no matter what room I watch it in, when that beach scene comes on, it just gets real dusty in that room. A lot of tears come down when you're watching Brian and his family, and then running off with that.
In the next room.
I have to change the radio when that song comes on, because my wife's caught me tearing up one too many times. Coming in at number 3, the original, The Fast and the Furious. I still remember going to see this the summer between my freshman and sophomore years of college. How excited I was and how much I enjoyed it. Still really enjoy that one. Number 2 for me is Fast 5. I like the heist. I like what they do. And then my number 1, I've always been a big original cast guy. My number 1 has always been Fast and Furious, the 4th movie, when they brought them all back together. I still remember seeing the trailer for that coming out the first time and being so excited that it was going to come. I love the opening. That was a little bit before they kind of decided that plot and believability didn't matter. I know people criticize the opening sequence, but I didn't think it was that fantastic considering where we're at. I just loved how they bring them all back together. It felt like it should have been the true sequel to the original.
Yeah, so for me, I think there's generally only one bad movie, bad movie in the entire franchise, and that's Tokyo
Hobbs and Shaw.
And no, I love Hobbs and Shaw.
Those guys had the chemistry of wet paint and a brush.
Oh, ouch! Ouch! All right, I'm gonna calm that one down a little bit, just a little bit. That hurts my heart a little bit. So I'm gonna give my 5. I'm actually entering 5. I'm gonna give F9. It's on that cusp. I go back and forth with this one. I've ranked it higher, ranked it lower. I'm still not sure where I want to put it. I really want to watch it again. I think it's going to take 2 or 3 more watches before I really decide where I want to put it in my rankings, because I've seen every single one of these movies except for Tokyo Drift. I've only ever watched Tokyo Drift twice, the first time and then more recently. And I liked it a little bit more recently because I like the way they tied Han into that story. So it's actually the movie's just not a complete waste of time. It's only 98% of waste of a time. But sorry, Tom. But for me, and then I'm 4, I've got The Fate of the Furious. 3, I've got Furious 7. Number 2, I've got The Fast and the Furious, the original one. And then number 1's Fast 5. I think Fast 5 is single-handedly one of the greatest action movies ever made. I think that The Rock, I've watched that movie, I think 3 times in the last week and a half. And those scenes, we talk about John Cena and in comparison to The Rock. I recommend anybody watching Fast 5 and Fast 9, just watch them back to back and see the complete difference between what a real villain, even though technically The Rock shouldn't be a villain, but we all love the family. So it's really,
he's the super antagonistic.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's a good way of putting it.
So you watch both of these guys back to back like that. You can't, he acts circles around him in this role. And he brings a physical dominance to the role too, that you believe that he's going to kick ass and take names. I mean, I didn't really believe The Rock in real life can turn around a submarine, but Hobbs, I really think that he could. You know what I mean? Like, whatever. You know what I mean? Like, he did it himself. I believe it. You know what I mean? But Fast Five is just that good. I feel like this franchise misses Brian 1,000%. 1,000%. And I think it would be cool to see him. Like, could you imagine the scenes in this movie with even if they would have brought John Cena into it, even if they bring him, but the flashback scenes and then the flash forward scenes, you got Brian there, you got them bringing the Tokyo Drift guys in. I mean, just think about that whole dynamic that we could have had there, but they're trying to recapture the Fast Five.
Well, I think that's where they're making the mistake that Disney and Marvel is going to be making with Black Panther and not recasting. While the initial hurt is there, right, for someone to kind of, take the mantle, like we've had other instances where we've had great, IPs being passed down. Think about what you get in the James Bonds. Think about what you get in, Superman. Look about what you get in Batman. Think about what you get in Spider-Man, right? Unfortunately, with where we are, we have not had great tragic losses with these characters. That was the reason why, right? And I feel like a lot of people are kind of stuck, right? If I recast them, does that mean it takes away from the reverence of this person? Not at all. If anything, I think it pays homage. And if they were to be asked, they probably would want it. I hope that, that the MCU can do an about face and their plans to move forward, because it's going to be that same kind of awkwardness that we got at the end of Fast 9, where we have Vin Diesel kind of like, chin up, like winking at the camera. I know Brian's not stepping out the car.
I know. I didn't like that very much. Brian is babysitting, and
when he does step out of the car, where were you?
I mean, we could. I don't know who could it's hard. I mean, Paul, he's an interesting. We don't have those 90s surfer guys anymore, right?
This is what they do. They put in James Van Der Beek. He replaced Paul Walker in Varsity Blues. He can replace him here.
Wow.
The thing is, James Van Der Beek, he looks 50 now. So it's gonna work, bro.
So does Tyrese.
Okay, all right. Everybody looks 50 now. Letty looks 50. Vin Diesel looks 50. I don't know what's up with Jordana Brewster's mouth, but her mouth looks 60. So I don't know, bro.
I think she's the youngest.
I didn't even realize she had a mouth.
She may not. It may detach. It's just to put it on when she's in movie role. I'd be so mean. Fuck me. God. Woo! I don't know. It was like, what's going on?
This is one observation that I made. The one little gripe that I had with The Rock in Fast 5. That scene when The Rock and his team pulls up at the race where Vin Diesel is at.
Yeah.
And for like 3-4 seconds, The Rock has this country accent.
Yeah.
Out of nowhere. Where he's like, oh, give it a minute. It'll sink in.
Yeah. It comes and goes throughout the movie. We first see him at the debrief when he's getting out of that big plane and stuff like that. It's there, and then it leaves, and then it kind of comes back, But like that's The Rock. Like he's not a thespian, right? But he definitely tries, and at the very least, his charisma is what carries him the entirety of the entire way. So I mean,
we have the next moment where Vin Diesel in some other person's voice says, "This is Brazil." You know what I mean? I don't know who.
This is Brazil. I'll never forget Vin Diesel. At that night in Fast 5, my father used to tell me. It's so weird, bro. He did it again in this movie. My father. I'm like, I still have no idea what he is. Is he Italian? He's Latino.
Impression?
I don't know, man.
He's a mutt, man. He's a mutt. He's one of the, like a dog that has like 40 different, things inside of him. That's what he is. Vin Diesel is now.
He doesn't really talk like that. That's what's crazy.
No, he does have a deep voice, right? He has that deeper voice to him, but he doesn't have that.
No, bro. When he's on this interview that's like all over Twitter, I'm like, that voice is very different from Groot and very different from Dom.
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah.
All right. Speaking of the characters now, guys, I want you guys to give me your top 5 characters of this franchise. Tom, I'm going to let you kick us off again. What you got for us? Give us your top 5, starting 5 from 1.
As much as I like her, I'll start with Jordana Brewster.
Oh.
I think that she is very, almost forgettable on the movies, but she is part Brazilian, so I'm gonna give her that because of, my relationship with the country. I think Therese Gibson will be next. I am not a huge fan of Jason Statham, but I think that I missed him on F9. I feel like he needed to be there for at least to try to do opposition to John Cena's bad acting. you know, that's three. Two, Michelle Rodriguez, especially because she's that I'm aware of the only Latina woman that's been in action for so long in Hollywood. Like when you think about representation, that really matters
Mhm.
a lot, and I can't remember anyone else that's been Latina and action movies and all that. We have Charlize Theron and all, but Hispanic and Latina for sure, Michelle Rodriguez, and then Brian for sure. And there's not even any way to put him not in first place, I guess.
There's a lot of ways.
Yes.
I'll let you
There
slide,
is.
Tom. I'll let you
There is.
slide.
Thanks.
GQ, give me your 5, brother.
All right. I was torn between because I had a tie going on, but the tie is between two duos. So my fifth slot was a tie between Roman and Tej's characters and the two Spanish guys from Fast Five. That was like, why you being so negative, bro? Like, why you being so all that negativity, bro? Like, so they're kind of like neck and neck for number 5.
I would say that if we in this panel and the audience listening, we're gonna choose your 5 for the characters whose names you actually remember.
Okay, all right. So then Roman and Tej then. Roman and Tej then. They're number 5. I will go Vin 4. I will go Letty 3. I will go because the fight scenes that she was in a lot of those movies were no joke. Some
Furious
some
6.
some are better than the men. Yeah.
Against what's my girl from the
Ronda?
Yeah, from
No, Gina Carano or Ronda Rousey. Which one of those?
7 was Ronda, 6
7
was
was
Gina
Ronda.
Carano.
6
They
was
were
Gina
both
Carano.
really, really good. That subway fight scene and chase scene with her,
Mhm.
like that was really, really good. And then of course the one in what was that, Dubai or something like that? Yeah, like that was she definitely I buy all of her hand-to-hand
I
combat
believe it. Yeah.
way more than Dom. except
more.
for Fast 5 versus Hobbs.
Like Vin's head is breaking through all these walls, and he just gets up and walks it off.
His head is made of solid steel.
Yes.
Vin is judging you right now, okay?
I
3
mean-
Vins are judging
All right.
3 Vins.
So okay, so Roman and Tej number 5, Vin 4, Letty 3, Paul Walker 2, The Rock 1.
Kobe, what you got for me?
Since GQ was able to stuff 2 and 5, because I think they are a pair. Roman and Tej, I have 5. While I think when I was younger, I was a big Eva Mendes fan, so I don't know who could not have been a fan of Too Fast, Too Furious for just her alone, along with Suki. But I was like, you know what? Tej and Roman, they have been such an amazing balance of comedy that not necessarily was needed, but definitely I appreciate it more and more as the movies grow on. I kind of look forward to it, right?
Yeah.
And with that being said, I'm going to put Letty at number 4. I'm going to put Brian at number 3. I'm putting Dom at number 2, and I'm putting Hobbs at number 1.
Mr. Fox, to you, sir.
It's tough for me because I'm a big original cast fan, but I made a change after seeing this last one. So number 5 for me is going to be Cypher. Charlize Theron has so much fun with these. I wish they would have let her do more. She realizes exactly what kind of movie she's in. The woman has an Oscar for a reason. She's not afraid to just let it all go, and that's really what if you're going to be in this kind of thing, you have to commit. Number 4 for me is Letty. I've always liked Michelle Rodriguez's character. I thought it was good. Number 3 for me is Tej. Ludacris it is really hard to be the straight man with all the stuff swirling on around you, and he has some of the best like reactions and line readings. Even, you know, they had it in the trailer, but even when I saw it in the movie, when they're like, "Yeah, is that a rocket jet strapped to a Fiero?" and the little guy, "Isn't it cool?" No, that is not cool. You know, Ludacris he has incredible line readings. I also like his music. So
he's come a long way with his acting.
I bumped him up. Yeah, so I like him. Number 2 for me is Brian, Miss Paul Walker. You know, and he was just so perfect in that role. I don't know if I thought he was an incredible actor and everything, but he fit this role and this character so perfectly. And then number 1 for me, Ricky and I were making jokes because we have I think the same number 1 thought it was going to be for everyone is Dom, Vin Diesel. These movies are nothing without him.
So my 5, I did a top 6 for a website. My 5 is a tie between 2 people just because everybody else I'm lumping 2 people together and they're not even lumped together. So I'm going to go with Cypher and Jason Statham. Okay. Jason Statham to me is very pivotal to this franchise. I think that his presence in 8, right? 8, the fight scene in the jail is one of the best.
Yeah.
It's amazing, period. Yeah. Like that scene. Look, is it stupid? Yes, 100%, but it is insane. Another reason why you buy Michelle Rodriguez kicking everybody asses, I believe Jason Statham can kick ass. You know what I mean? Like he is a genuine ass kicker. So and then Cypher to me, I hope that in 10 they let her be the villain. Let her be just the heart. I loved her, making Dom, turn. I thought it was great. I love that storyline 100%. I wish we would have saw that storyline with Brian because that would have been badass. Like those scenes. God, yes. Just think about the scenes of him turning on like turning on the family. Yes, I get it. Right. It still sucks. Turning on Michelle Rodriguez sucks, but man, turning on Brian, oh God, could you imagine the scenes between those two? Like it hits a different way. For me, 4 is, who did I say was 5? I don't remember. Hold on. Okay, so God, Lee, I don't even remember my own damn list right now. So I know who number 1 is. This is me having a brain fart in the middle of the podcast. Hang on one second, guys. Oh man.
While you're doing that, I want to further go into Cypher. So I've kind of Fast 9. Oh, you got it? You got your 4?
I'm good.
You're good? All right.
I'm good. Okay.
I'm gonna save my Fast 9 is an Avengers movie for later. Go ahead.
I totally agree with you. My number 4 is 1000% Ludacris Tej. I love his character. When you watch the movies back from start to finish, from when he first makes his appearance to where he is now, I'm not sure there's a better character arc amongst any of the characters because you know what you're getting from Dom. Dom's the same from 1 to 9. He really is, right? Mm-hmm. Brian, I think, is really close in that character arc too because what you see from him getting out of the car in Too Fast, Too Furious with his way too big and tall white t-shirt and his Jinko jeans, like what we get from there to what we see in Fast 5 when he goes face to face with The Rock. He is hilarious in the movie, but he also can be very serious. But Tej, to me, I just love Ludacris. To me, honestly, I wrote this whenever I was writing about him. I don't understand why he has not been given more opportunities to act outside of this franchise. Absolutely. Because I genuinely feel like his acting is absurd. Like it's so good. And you're right. Like his deadpan, like facial expressions to like, I mean, obviously one of the funniest scenes ever is the improv scene where, between Tyrese and The Rock about hiding the baby oil. And then that scene is 1000% improv. Like it was not on the script. Ludacris's reaction is 100% real. He spits that water that scene is so good. Right.
Yeah.
But to me, Ludacris is a fantastic character that I don't think that we really appreciate enough. I want to see Ludacris in more films. I do. Outside of this franchise, I would love to see him in more roles. I would love to see a spinoff with Roman and Tej. I really would. I would love.
I think they've earned it by now.
I agree. It's like Black Widow. Like Black Widow earned her, own solo movie. Let's give Roman and Tej their own movie.
I would love to see that happen, and then they cross paths with a certain duo in Miami.
Oh my God, dude.
Marcus Burnett and Mike Lowry. That would be quite entertaining to watch.
I don't hate the idea of Bad Boys 4 intertwining with Fast 10. Oh my god, we're on to something here, guys. We don't want Jurassic World and Fast 9. I would like to see Dom take down a fucking Tyrannosaurus Rex, though.
When we get Justin Lin and Michael Bay to co-direct, Justin Lin does all the car things, so Michael Bay just blows shit up.
Exactly. Perfect movie, guys. We just wrote the perfect movie, guys. For me, 3, Brian, Paul Walker. I don't know what else to say. You know what I mean? You guys said it already. He's perfect for this role. I think it's crazy to me. In 2001, we got this and Joyride, which I thought Joyride is a fantastic movie, and Paul Walker is great in it. Number 2, easily is Luke Hobbs. The Rock single-handedly revitalized this franchise. I love Vin Diesel with all my heart, and I need you to make up with him, please, because I need him back in these future films. Because
I think they did make up, though. I think they did make up.
Well, I think if they would have made up, I think we would have seen a scene with him at the. I don't know. I really just need, before the end of this series, I need another scene with these guys. I need him back in the shuffle, big time. Number 1, hands down, not even remotely close. It's this guy, 1,000%. He is this franchise without him. I wrote this about Dominic Toretto. I think Dominic Toretto, the man we all see is this big badass. But I think Dominic Toretto, the character, we can learn a lot from, because Dominic Toretto does a lot of different things that as human beings we can relate to. He takes in strays. It doesn't matter what you look like, doesn't matter what you've done. If you're in the family, you're in the family. You know what I mean? Vincent turned his back twice, and you know what? He reeled him back in. Paul Walker, you know what I mean? Was going to put him in jail. I'm just saying, I understand the grand scheme of things. Dominic Toretto, this character is insane, wild. And should he win 99% of his fights that he's in? Probably not. You know what I mean? No. But I think that Dominic Toretto, the character, the core center of what this family is. And a lot of people laugh and joke about the idea of this family. But for me, it's rooted in honest, goodness, right? You know what I mean? And we even see that. I did like the backstory of how they brought in Jacob, even though he was a steaming pile of garbage. I really feel like, speaking of which, you said talking about replacing Brian, this would have been a good opportunity to replace Brian. Bringing in somebody in this brother role that we didn't know, that somebody that could act, obviously. Let's start by saying somebody that could act.
Yeah.
But you could have really utilized Jacob Toretto, with a K, Jacob with a K. We could have really utilized this character, and maybe in F10, he's the new Brian, right? You know what I mean? He kind of revitalizes that sidekick next to him. If we get another movie and John Cena's in it, I'm going to be pissed. So don't let him be the new Brian, please, because he's not. But that's my top 5. Colby, I'm going to let you go on your F9 is the Avengers.
I mean, so I was just noticing too many similarities from Avengers 2012. And I want to know if you guys kind of feel the same way, because I find it really glaring, in my opinion. I mean, really Avengers 2012, it's one of one of the highest grossing movies of all time. And I'm over here taking notes and stuff like this. I'm like, holy crap, right? Dominic Toretto is Thor. Right? Okay. Jacob is Loki. Tej is Tony. I guess I'm gonna try to sell Roman as Cap. Letty's Natasha. Cypher's Thanos.
Okay. Hold on. I want to rewind real quick. Hold on. Let me rewind quick. I'm gonna sell Roman as Cap. I love the way he threw that in there and just brushed right on by. I was not gonna stop you there.
Well, we have Cap. Who's
Cap
American?
Sucks.
That's America's.
Might as well
ass.
let it be Roman.
Roman is America's jackass.
You're gonna sit there and tell me. You're gonna sit there and tell me that Roman is not Hawkeye.
No. Hawkeye.
That's so accurate.
I think I got Hawkeye as what's Natalie Emmanuel's character?
Ramsey.
Really?
Yeah, he's not really useful. She's not useful for anything.
Yeah, she really isn't. I think she's just Ludacris's kind of arm candy.
They don't even have a will they won't they anymore. I thought they were going to kind of have that back and forth, and it's kind of gone now.
If they have that back and forth, doesn't that make Ludacris Black Widow?
It could. I'm struggling trying to find.
Hold on, we're talking about useless. He could really be God. He could be Hawkeye. Roman could really be Hawkeye. The most useless person on the Avengers is Hawkeye, right? Am I wrong?
Then that certainly makes
hold on. I gotta stop you right there. As much as we all collectively like to make fun of Hawkeye, let's break this down. Avengers 1. Hawkeye rejoined the team after he got brainwashed. Was a good guy. They won. Age of Ultron. Hawkeye was a good guy. They won. Infinity War. Hawkeye was nowhere to be found. They lost.
Hold on.
I'm gonna correct you one thing. I think there is a better Marvel comparison, and it's Captain America: The Winter Soldier. Dom is Captain America. Jacob is the Winter Soldier. They discover as part of this whole thing that the secret government agency that they thought they were working with has really spawned all these other nefarious government agents that are going off on their own paths.
I thought about that, but the fact that Jacob in Fast 9 was fully aware that what drove him was to be better than Dom. So I kind of thought that sibling rivalry that was between Loki and Thor, made sense to kind of have them go back and back. Of course, they're all searching for this MacGuffin that's going to attract this big beam in the sky like it does in both of these movies. And they got to go up there. And essentially you've got, in this instance, you got Tej and Roman, kind of like Tony did, go into space in order to take the thing down.
That's true.
Let's see if you do the Winter Soldier, then Ramsey can be Maria Hill. She just shows up on occasion to make some jokes.
Yeah, Maria Hill. Yeah. But like I said, Hawkeye was around when they won, and Hawkeye was not around when they lost.
The numbers don't lie.
Let's put respect on Hawkeye's name.
Still, he shoots bow and arrows. Come on, man!
He gives really, really good pep talks. Probably if he didn't, we wouldn't have Wanda where she is now.
True, and did you guys hear about the rumor about? Well, I don't know if it's a rumor, but it's reported that Charlie Cox's Daredevil is going to be in the Hawkeye series.
Oh, I thought it was going to be in No Way Home. All right, I'll take it.
I think he's going to be in No Way Home too. Now, I will say this: does anybody else really just not like the Falcon and the Winter Soldier show? Like, I thought it was just very.
I finally started Loki yesterday. I've now fully caught up. I did episodes 1, 2, and 3. I think that these first 3 episodes are better than the entirety of the Falcon and the Winter Soldier series. I think it's better than most of the.
I would have to say episode 1 and 2 of Loki was good. Episode 3 was.
I enjoyed 3.
I just want to see Loki bone another Loki because it's gonna happen.
Oh no!
I'm not.
The tension was there. Like I was like, bro, it's about to go down on this train. All right.
Yeah.
Train to
Loki. I'm not very sold yet.
You like how they snuck in Loki's sexuality in that passive statement?
Yes.
It was like super duper quick.
A couple of princes. He's like a little bit of both. They just kind of threw that in there just to kind of give him that type of identity.
Yeah, exactly. It's fun. He's the first gay. No, he's not. Let's calm down with that comment too. He's the first gay character in Disney. It's like there's like 7 other ones that they. I love that.
I keep giving the first to everybody.
Yeah, he's getting princesses and princes.
Yeah, exactly.
But I mean, you know what? I hope that going forward, for the Fast Saga, that what's the crazy thing that like people forget? These are all multi-millionaires. Like,
yes,
they pulled off a heist in Fast 5, and they walked in like $50 million each.
Yeah,
like I have no idea why they're doing this. Like, who they feel like they owe? Like Mr. Nobody, chill out, bro. Number one, where's Mr. Nobody? The entire movie, the entire goal of this film was to find Mr. Nobody, and he's nowhere to be found.
Nobody found him because he's nobody.
Nobody found him.
I thought they were looking at the fact he died.
I thought they did.
I wasn't happy with. The way they explained, it's like they explained it but didn't explain it. How Han survived, because all they said was, "Oh, Mr. Nobody has a great way of making things."
Well, they showed him blow up the car, and he was next to Han.
That's true.
So was there a hologram?
All this time, it wasn't Han in the car.
Yeah, I mean, you got to remember.
Han just conveniently waited with Mr. Nobody until the car accident happened. Around that, I mean,
while we're
they
talking
had to
about
reel
logic,
it in, right? You know what I mean? They had to give him a reason to be alive still. You know
what
I mean?
Year is it right now? I have no clue.
2035. I don't know.
Because in my mind, it cannot be 2021 because the way
No.
that these events transpire. Okay, we know that it began in 2001. We're going to assume it's 2001. But I do not believe that to these characters, 20 years has passed. In no
Yeah.
way do I think that 20 years has passed.
I don't believe
No.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I definitely don't.
Especially
I
for the
definitely
fact that, essentially, Tokyo Drift comes after Fast.
Well,
Furious
hang
6.
on. So they found out she was pregnant in what one? Five?
Fifth.
Fifth.
Yeah.
So she found out she was pregnant, and he had a baby with her in 7?
Yeah.
Evan.
And that baby's
Baby's
only
born.
like 2 or 3. That baby boy is what? Little Brian's what? 3, maybe.
Yeah.
So
bro, it doesn't
this all
make
happened
sense.
in like 1 year. Like this was like 2020 in their wheel. You know what I mean? This is all 1 year time.
But it
frame,
can't
you know what I mean? No.
Because essentially we have like a passage of like how long was Dom locked up for? Like I need somebody out there track it down. How long was Dom in jail in between F1? It's not F1. Fast and Furious and Fast and Furious 4 when they broke up. How long was that time? Because that may give us a clue.
Yeah.
Because then I feel
Yeah.
like everything
Wait,
after that point was
he
like
was
a
never
I don't
in
think he
jail.
was in jail though. I think
No,
they
he was
just
in jail.
broke him out.
It
No,
was
he was never in
after
jail.
he got convicted and they were taking him
They were
to
taking
jail
him in
that
that
they
truck.
broke him out on the
Yeah, because you got to
bus.
remember the timeline is not Tokyo Drift happens apparently
after 6.
Yeah, after 6. So he was not in jail at like his sentencing was like post. That was like right at the end of 1, right?
So how
At
much
the end of
time
4.
passes from 1 to 4?
No,
Right.
his sentencing is at the end of 4.
Oh, at the 4. Yeah. So they break him out in 5.
Yeah.
They break him out at the end of 4.
Yes. Yeah.
So
Well,
we're taking like what 3 years? Maybe 2?
Well,
Yeah.
if
Hey,
we're
a lot
looking at
happens
it
in 3
correctly,
years.
it almost looks like 5, 6, and 7 looks like it took place in the same year.
That's what it
Maybe
feels like to me.
give or take a year apart. Like 6, I know 6 and 7 have to be in the same year,
Yeah.
and then
Close
5
enough, yeah.
maybe a year.
Yeah, because
before.
now
Because
it's like-
Shaw comes for his revenge pretty quickly.
yeah.
Yeah. I will say that heist scene though, where they switch the things out, it's pretty badass. I mean, it's
so
pretty
good.
badass scene.
It-
You know what I
it's-
mean? Like,
it's- but
oh,
it's an
it's so
all-timer.
good. Yeah, it is.
It really, really is an all-timer. I mean,
It is.
I don't know. I have no idea what they're going to do for 10. Like you said, we want to see Cypher fully assume like her Thanos
And
role.
Kobe really
and
wants
come
John
out.
Cena in the movie, so
I mean,
I'm just kidding. I'm pleased
he's
don't
already
do that.
he's already here at this point,
No,
right?
if he's in it, I'm gonna fucking scream, guys. Oh,
You know what?
he gave
they're
him a
trying
10-second
to do?
car. Go away. Go away.
But you know what they're trying to do?
What?
They're trying to get Cena and The Rock on the screen again.
I mean, they had their chance to do it for Shazam, and they didn't want to go that route. Like,
Yeah.
Cena would have been a great, Shazam. Like,
But you know what the problem was? The 100% the problem that we run into is if they really touch the screen together, we really see how bad of an actor John Cena is. Like, it
no,
would be
because we can't
bad.
see him. We wouldn't be able to see him.
Well played. Well played. Well played.
Yeah.
Well, kind of well played, but you know what I'm saying. All right, folks, we're going to wrap it up. I'm going to give everybody a chance to plug yourself, plug your shows, plug your Twitter, plug your mom. I really don't care what we plug right now. Plug John
This
Cena.
got dark.
Plug John Cena and plug John Cena in the middle of walking
You
away.
ready to be plugged?
Oh man, Tom, I'll start with you, man. Give it. If you don't think I'm cutting that out and using that on Twitter this week, we are definitely going
You
to.
need to get a soundboard, bro. Use that thing over and over again.
Oh my
Oh,
goodness. Was it Twitter
this a
After
shout
Dark
out?
or something? I don't even know, man. Tom, give us your Twitter, man, and I'll let you go, my man.
Oh yeah. I am at Tommyverse. And you just mostly got some, movie TV reviews, Marvel talk, nonsense about waking up at 7:30 in the morning out of the blue, and funny stuff like that.
Perfect. GQ, my man. Plug away.
All right, so GQ of those PPL on all platforms, as well as those people, the company, those people on all platforms. I have the Alternative Facts podcast we do every 2 weeks. It's a current event slash topic-based podcast where we always end it with some crazy over-the-top would you rathers at the very end that'll make you cry. Yeah, and we have spoiler talks every Thursday now since Loki drops on Wednesdays, and then I have my spoiler talks the following evening at 8 p.m.
One of these days I'll come on that show. Even though I threw a fit that you didn't invite me, even though I know you invited me. He was like, dude, I sent you the link. Kobe, my man.
Yo. You can follow your boy. I am on all the socials at Colby Told Me. That's KOLBYTOLD me. I'm on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. I'm on Clubhouse sometimes. If you can follow me, Tinder. Go ahead, hit me up. I'll start writing for plugyourmom.com.
Plugyourmom.com.
Wherever. So pretty much just give me a follow, boy. It would be a lot of fun. And when they ask where you heard it from, you can tell them Colby told me.
You can follow Matthew Fox on Twitter at Nighthawk7734.
And in 2 weeks, on July 11th,
oh God,
Ricky will be taking some much needed rest. So in his honor, Eric Langford and I will be taking over the MCDI podcast and having a special tribute episode to J.R. Tolkien's The Hobbit and Lord of the Rings, a personal favorite of our host, Ricky Valero.
I sent the funny story before we go. I sent a message to the Twitter group chat and say, hey guys, I'm taking some time off. I'm going on vacation. We're not going to have any shows for 2 weeks, but I said to Fox, I said, man, if you want to man a show while I'm gone, perfectly fine, do it. And next thing you know, they're working up this whole entire Lord of the Rings podcast. And now I have regrets because hopefully the show is not as long as the movies. Because for honest fact, guys, and I'll be honest with everybody here and everybody at home, Lord of the Rings are terrible, both 1 and 2. I literally wanted to kill myself watching both of those movies. But I will insist that you please listen to that podcast. I don't know. Maybe don't listen. I don't really. If you like Lord of the Rings, listen to it. If you don't, listen to it anyway because it's the podcast. You know what I'm saying? But you can follow me on Twitter at Ricky Valera _. You can head over to the Music City Drive-In to check out all the latest articles and movie reviews from Mr. Fox, from Tommy, and for myself as well, Jacob. Check out the other shows on the Drive-In Podcast Network. I don't even know what I'm saying anymore. I've just been talking here. The Debbie Delight, Film Optics, the Film Not Rated show. I think that's wrong. I always get it wrong whenever I talk about
this film's not rated.
That podcast. That's the one on the network. I run a network. Can't even name the show on there. But thank you guys so much. Thank you to to GQ for jumping on with us. We need to have you on again in the near future, my man. I need to come on your show. Tommy, thank you for your first appearance as well.
My pleasure.
Colby and I are cooking up some stuff. Obviously, as I announced at the beginning of the show, Fox and I are hitting up a new show called Happy Hour, tackling all things NFL in the very near future. Thank you guys for watching. We'll talk to you guys later.
All right. Appreciate you.